r/askreddit. What is something you have a hard time not judging people about? People who don't use their turn signals. Even better, the ones who turn on the turn signal after they're already turning. Leaving trash in nature or anywhere really. I don't get it. One of my pet peeves are people who throw their empty beer or energy drink cans off ski lifts. The lifters have to hike up the hill with trash bags picking up the litter. The people who do this have no respect for nature or the employees. Also, why would you soil the place that you're paying to enjoy and creating obstacles for others? People pressuring other people to do something after the other people have already said no. Oh come on. Just one drink. As someone who just doesn't enjoy drinking, it's so tiring answering at every single function. No, I don't want a drink. No, I'm not an alcoholic. Thank you for the concern. I just don't want to drink. It's like it's unfathomable for someone not to enjoy drinking. I see this all the time at karaoke. If they don't like singing, but they still came to hang out with you anyway, that is not appropriate to pressure them into signing up for a song. Don't punish them for being supportive of your choice of a hangout spot. If you do, they'll likely never come back to a karaoke bar again. And that's just not right. Karaoke should be a fun environment, not one that causes someone anxiety because unaware assholes keep approaching them asking, "Are you gonna sing?" I hate dancing. Always have since I was a kid. Apparently there is no limit on how abusive people are allowed to be when forcing you to dance. Because it's so fun. Being extremely loud in public place or restaurants and bragging. I will never forget the time I rode a train late at night and one family took up half the car with their kids. They ran around making an absolute ruckus. One older lady politely asked if they could quiet down since everyone was tired. The acting matriarch of the group yelled at her, "Don't you dare tell my kids what to do. Hey, kids, you can be as loud as you want." Yay. I have to imagine they all grew up to be total assholes. Time to teach their kids some fun new words and jokes. You think parents like that care about vulgarity? You could probably get them parroting the most disgusting, phobic things you've ever heard in your life and the parents would just shrug. I dunno. Teach them to say mummy is a cunt and keep repeating it. That should do the trick. In cases like this, get up, go sit/stand next to the parent. Proceed to scream your head off into their ear. I like opera music and have a wireless speaker. If there was ever a better moment to play music in public, this is it. Note, I don't play music in public. In fact, I hate when people play music in public. But if the shoe fits, poor treatment of pets. Buying a $3,500 puppy for their kid at Christmas and dumping the dog at the pound a few months later when they realize how challenging raising a cute puppy can be. I will judge you. Glances down at purebred husky from pound sitting on couch snuggling with favorite toys. As the owner of 2 rescue huskies, seriously, if you don't want the responsibility of raising a baby, don't get the dog. People who act tough. I can't take them seriously. Oh yeah. You can't take them seriously, huh? Wanna say that to my face, chief? Oh yay, you wanna fight about it? I hate people that feel the need to constantly bring others down and make them feel bad about things they enjoy. It's so sad to watch someone's enthusiasm about their hobby deflate because another person decided to be a dick about it. Working with kids, it's something I try to nip in the bud. Unfortunately, there's way too many adults doing that to kids. My cousin's dreams were crushed as kids by the adults in my family. Talents went to waste because of that. Even as a child myself, I knew it was wrong. Man, I think of myself as a relatively tough person who generally jaff what people think of me, but I'm 38 and overweight, and I realized I wanted to try rollerblading again. This was at 8 MOs, after having my 3rd child. This one dickhead neighbor was out in his yard and made fun of me to my face as I skated up the road. Legit first time rollerblading in like 20 years, and I haven't put them back on since. I even said, "Hey, don't give me a hard time, I haven't done this in years." And he rolled his eyes and said, "Yeah, I can tell." He made me feel so small and stupid. I'm mad at myself for not being tougher than that idiot's stupid comments. Edit. To all you sub-commenters, you are a lovely group of people and thank you so much for your encouragement. Yeah, fuck that guy. When I get the guts up to go try again, I'll prob wait a few weeks till it's not hotter than the devil's taint outside. I will think of y'all. Sorry about that. And also your sour baby neighbor wanted out your bag. It's hard to guard yourself against shitty comments though. I'm almost 33 and I consider myself to be pretty confident, but I can still get down sometimes. I love collecting vintage dresses in a really specific style, and recently I found one in a super rare color. So I was excited to tell my flatmate about it, but he just sighed and said, "Lamely, nobody cares about this." Felt really small straight away. I hope you can manage to put the roller skates back on. Seems like a great way to enjoy freedom once you've got it down again. I know a lot of people enjoy skateboarding for the same reasons, just randomly riding around and enjoying the surroundings. Really hope you can enjoy that again. Not cleaning up after their dog. Just get a doggy bag PPL. Well, I'd take it a step further. Some people actually clean up after their dog, put it in a bag, then toss that bag in the bushes/trees. Trimmed some trees at the edge of our property along the road and found several doggy poop bags. Luckily we put up a couple signs and it seems to have solved the problem. At least if they had left the poop alone it would have eventually biodegraded, but they had to seal it up in plastic. What they named their kids. My biggest pet peeve is the non-traditional spelling of common names. Megan versus Meghan or Scene versus Sean is one thing, but I have a co-worker named Tiffany, and I have a very difficult time taking her seriously. A waiter called Haney gave their parents very good service once during their first date. It resulted in the parents hitting it off and eventually getting married, but they were not well-to-do back then and couldn't afford the tip. A couple of years later, when pregnant with their child, they went back to the restaurant to thank Haney for their service and give the tip they couldn't afford to before, only to find out from the other staff that Haney no longer worked there. So they named their child Tip Haney in honor of the waitstaff that brought them together. So don't disrespect her by calling her Tiffany. Call her Tip Haney, the way her parents intended. My niece's middle name is Macy instead of Macy, and I just refuse to acknowledge her middle name. I literally scrolled one post down and figured out that Elon Musk is naming his third child Technomechanicus. His third child with that specific woman. He has many more kids. Littering. I can't think of a single good reason to litter. You are supposed to judge people for littering. Basically every comment on this post is something that people should be judged for. They have the not my problem mentality, when in fact yes, MFR, it's only your problem. They need to stop making it other people's problems. I work with a guy who throws his cigarette butts in the ground and I can't really figure out his mentality. After a few days, when there's tons of them on the ground, he feels guilty and picks them up. He says he throws them in the ground because he's lazy. But he literally has to talk past the "but can" when he's done with his smoke break. So, yep. Oh, that's what the cleaners are paid for. Fucking hate it. Even when it's technically true, like in a fast food place, I'd still feel like an a-hole not talking, taking my tray to the garbage myself. I'm always amazed how many people just leave them, even though the garbages are by every exit, so it's not even out of your way. You literally have to walk past the garage cans. Edit. Talking taking. A parent leaving and ignoring one family to get a new sew and raise that person's children. Overheard a convo a mom was having with her pre/early teen daughter at a restaurant once. I was their server. Essentially daughter had to go live with her dad because they didn't have enough room in mom's new family. The specific phrase "I have a new family now" was used. I haven't mentioned that mom was preggo. Lots of tears and mom came across as a complete a-hole. Left a good tip though. Generally it is getting a new partner who doesn't have kids and create a new batch of kids, forgetting the existing kids. Happened to a childhood friend of mine. She had a rotten father. He just walked out of their lives, created 2 new kids, and refused to pay for his original 2 kids' schooling and university, which he had promised them he would pay. My ex-husband moved 300 miles away and left our girls. I'm terrified of the day he just makes a new family and doesn't see them at all. People who use their phones on full volume in public. It's one thing for kids, but I keep seeing adults doing it. I just cannot imagine being that self-centered. I'm seeing it way too often. Edit. And yes, of course I'm including people talking on speakerphone in public. Monsters. Edit. Getting way too many messages from people justifying this behavior for various reasons. Stop. Not only do I not care, but you just make me think you're even more selfish pretending headphones aren't widely available for very cheap. Just stop. If you know you can't hear, or your phone isn't working properly, you should go get headphones. I don't even think it's particularly acceptable for kids to be doing it either, tbh. No one else in the cafe/pub/doctor's waiting room wants to listen to the nonsense you're watching/game you're playing at top volume. It's so obnoxious. Yeah, my daughter pouted, cause I told her volume off when others are around. It's common courtesy. Nobody wants to hear pew 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 constantly, or annoying little music. Thank you. I've been so many places where kids are watching something on full blast and their parents are rocking a cool set of headphones, completely oblivious. Edit. Typo. Constant aggression at the slightest thing. Could be a mental health issue, but lashing out isn't the answer. I just wish the mental health system wasn't completely useless now. My dad is unfortunately like this. He acknowledges that kind of toxic behavior and usually tells me not to do the same. While he continues repeating it, I had a hard time come to terms with this and put it down to how he was raised as a child. But man, I wish he would stop lashing out so easily. It's a vicious cycle. The thing is, it's easy to acknowledge it, especially with words, but to actually do it with actions and mean them can be really hard for some. I'm sorry you've had to go through that. People smoking around their kids. The worst is when they have their kids in the car or in the house smoking and the poor kids cannot escape. Mistreating folks in the customer service industry. Employers treating their employees like shit. I won't return to the establishment. I have a hard time with other people's parenting styles, or lack of, or if you're straight up abusing or bullying your kid. Some parenting styles, i.e., traditional abuse, spanking, neglect, sexual abuse, misogyny, turning a blind eye, checking out, berating, shaming your kids, things of that nature. Every kid is different and needs different things. Or ignoring them in public, so they run amok and act like feral cats. Monitor and discipline your children. Anyone who participates in that awful tradition of slamming someone's face into their birthday cake or wedding cake, how well taken care of their pets are. I'm part of several cats forums, and I can't help but judge the Bengal cat owners. Just being used as a status symbol, with no regard for how they came to be and the handful they can be. So much blatant animal neglect and abuse in the animal subreddits, it boggles my mind. Intolerance of others and the Dutch. The number of people not realizing this is an Austin Powers quote. The first Austin Powers movie came out 26 years ago. The average Redditor probably isn't that old. Thank you.